Welcome back to Tuesday Tea with Turro. We have Mr. Monsignor Turro, and I'm...
Yes, I'm waiting to hear that self-description.
Yeah, I'm trying to... I'm a drinker of tea.
I think it would differ rather a good bit from the way I would define you.
How would you define me? Define me? Describe me?
That's for another time.
Okay. Today we have some special things on the table. We have some very generous gifts. For reasons or another, a JF has made us some shortbread cookies to accompany our tea. Isn't
Yes,
that wonderful?
that's nice.
Yeah, right? Oh my goodness, they look delicious. And then someone else brought some carrot cake and carrot cake for both of us, and chocolate cake, obviously, for Monsignor Turro,
Yes.
from Lotito's. I'd never heard of this place, but they said, you have to try this. Huh? I just want to let this fellow know that technically I'm allergic to carrots. I got one of those allergy tests once, and it said I'm allergic to carrots, but I've never had a reaction before, so I have been eating carrots.
Now, I wonder if the person who brought this carrot cake was aware of this disability of yours.
Probably. You probably sent them, huh? So, Monsignor, how are you today?
I'm feeling fine, thank God. It's not a very glamorous day out there. It's
What would you say a glamorous day is like?
Sunshine, cool breezes.
Sunshine and cool breezes. I do like that.
Yeah.
Are you outside on these glamorous days?
Am I outside?
Yeah. Is it a glamorous day if it's sunshine and cool breezes, but you're sitting inside?
Yeah, well, no, I wouldn't do that. I prefer to be outside.
We can do that.
Well, that's something for me to look forward to anyhow.
Yeah.
You can see how exciting life is for me when we are discussing the weather.
Well, you usually bring up the weather whenever someone asks you about me.
Yeah, stormy weather usually I make reference to.
Yeah, usually it's like, so how is Father Patrick? What are the good qualities of Father
That's
Patrick?
when I say yes. It looks like rain, doesn't it?
We're going to start a new session on our Tuesday Tea with Turro. It's, what is one positive thing that Monsignor Turro can say about Father Patrick?
I will need lots of time.
Because there's so many good things to say?
No, trying to find a good thing to say.
Monsignor made a very nice comment. Speaking of which, making a comment towards me.
When was that? Was it in a dream?
I think you were sick or
what?
something. Yeah. Maybe you were drunk, or I don't know. We had just celebrated Mass, and then just prayed mid-morning. We had some after Mass prayers, and then we prayed something called mid-morning prayer. And then Monsignor Turro turns to me and says, "That is the one good thing that you've ever done in the 36 years." Now, he usually says like 50 years. I don't know why he thinks I've been around for 50 years. In the 50 years you've been around, this is the first time you've ever done anything nice for me. But at the end of it, he said, but in the end, on the surface, we don't look the same, we don't act the same, very different personalities, but deep within, we're basically twins. That's what you said.
Was I drunk at the time?
Well, it depends. Yeah, probably. Yeah, what I think you implied was we're twins, because we both love to pray. I think you love to pray.
Oh, yes.
Do you do it just for show?
I hope I never have done it for show.
Well, I thank you for the compliment, because yes, I think you and I are very similar, Monsignor. Please pray for Monsignor Turro. He has a lot of issues. if he has anything in common with myself. We're doing it, Monsignor. We're going straight to the tough questions. You ready?
Okay.
So someone asked, can you speak to us on your feeling about the purpose of this calamity that has befallen our planet? Is this occurring in order to enlighten all, to reevaluate our faith, or lack of it? Any particular
Well,
thoughts?
it's certainly a test of faith. And I wonder how anybody can feel, what shall I say, at ease or make sense of anything without the faith. If we ever give time to trying to analyze what it is that's befallen us and what it is and why it has happened, of course we come eventually to think of original sin that disordered the human race, and things of this sort will happen because of that, because of original sin. But I have no idea how anybody else would come to grips with this present situation, or try to understand what it is that's going on.
I've never thought of it that way, that you can't really understand evil and why evil happens without what we've learned from Scripture, for example.
Oh, yes, yeah.
The understanding of Adam and Eve. Because otherwise, if God isn't real, if God isn't present, what is the purpose of all this? Who cares? Is evil even really evil? Is it, or do we just make it up and say, "Oh, I'm hurting, so it must be evil"? But for those who do believe in God, to those of us who have embraced the faith, what do you say to those people in a time of coronavirus?
Well, I think the normal reaction of the normal Catholic is to turn to prayer. You know, when we are faced with a difficult situation or one that we can't grapple with, that's our recourse right away, is to turn to God and implore His help. And I think that makes sense at the present time, you know, when we're facing the present situation out there in the world. We don't have any solutions for it, that's sure.
Yeah, it's a tough situation. Do you also pray whenever I enter the room?
I've usually cursed then.
Oh my goodness. The dark side of Monsignor Turro is coming out, huh?
Oh no, I like people.
Oh, I'm a people.
Oh.
Do you like me?
It looks like rain out. I think
You've already brought up the rain. We already talked about the rain. What good or bad times in your life made a real or significant impact on your priesthood?
I don't know how I will answer that. My priesthood is with me through thick and thin. I advert to it, you know, in difficult moments of life. I also advert to my priesthood in the times of ease and comfort. It's an ever-present fact for me, for which I can't thank God enough for. It's the greatest thing that's happened to me in all my years. I can't think of anything approaching it even.
I was talking to another priest the other day, and he was at a parish, and his parishioners asked him, "Hey, when's your birthday? We want to know so we can celebrate with you. Maybe get you a gift." And he says, to be honest, if you're going to remember any date significant in my life, I'd prefer you know the day I was ordained a priest. He has very fond memories of that particular day. He described it as the single best day of his life.
Yeah.
And do you know what your ordination day is, Monsignor?
Well, it's May 30th, but I can't remember the year.
I think, is it May 3rd? I thought it was May 27th.
May 27th?
Your ordination day. Maybe? I only say that because my ordination is May 27th, and I want you and me to have the same ordination day so we can celebrate together the day that we became so much more alike, almost like twins.
Yeah, it would seem that way from a distance, you know.
From a distance, we look very similar. Is that what you're saying? Yeah. Like even on this camera, like we can't really tell who's who right on the screen. Is that what you mean?
Yeah. No, I would make clear to anyone, though, if they wondered about our relationship, I would let them know immediately where we stand.
Where's that?
Far apart from one another.
Do you think one day, Monsignor, we will ever become friends?
Well, I'm trying to think of what circumstance might bring that about. The end of the world.
I'm thinking like a pandemic.
A pandemic would do it, yeah.
We're in a pandemic.
Oh, I see. Well, not even that doesn't succeed in bringing us together.
Is there no hope then?
It probably is a hopeless situation.
But in Romans it says hope does not disappoint. And I hope, Monsignor, I hope that we have a deep and lasting friendship that lasts into eternity so that we could be together forever in heaven. What do you think about that?
I'm speechless.
What are your thoughts on adoration?
Oh, I think it's a precious experience. I think it really ought to be part of every Catholic's life, you know. Quiet moments spent before the Blessed Sacrament. I think that's a rare experience. And I have a feeling that has fallen off as a Catholic custom. I could remember when, just on an ordinary day, you'd be walking by a Catholic church at, say, 2:30 in the afternoon on a Wednesday, just another day, and you enter the church and there are 5 people there making a visit. That's beautiful, and that we've lost somehow or other.
Why do you think it's so important for the people to take up the practice of adoration?
Well, it's the most important relationship we have in life is our relationship with God. We take great pains in our relationship with our neighbors and our friends and our family. We're very careful about that, but we are very, very blasé.
I've heard many people say things such as, "Oh, I like to believe that God is everywhere."
Oh, well, I certainly won't deny that. But there is a special personal presence of God in the Eucharist that we ought to take greater advantage of than I think we do. Specifically in ways of that kind. For example, making just a casual visit to the Blessed Sacrament on any ordinary day, not because it's Christmas or a holy day of obligation, but just because it's another day. I think every Catholic should have that attitude toward the Blessed Sacrament.
Yeah, personal presence of our Lord in the Eucharist. I think that's right. the way Jesus himself gave himself to us and said, I will be with you. And he gave it to us in adoration. Monsignor, the other day when we had Mass, I think it was on the Ascension, and you gave this beautiful reflection on how at the Ascension Jesus goes up into heaven, and you said it was counterbalanced by the Eucharist, because he said, I will be with you always until the end of the age. And how he has done that most especially is in the Eucharist. And so to take that time, he has laid himself out before us to be with us forever. And so now it's our turn to say, all right, I will be with you until the end of my age. Thanks, Monsignor, for that reflection.
Well, it's off the top of the head. I didn't have a chance to think about it, but it's valid.
That's straight from the heart.
I think so.
Do you have anything straight from the heart for me?
Get lost.
You ever think about being a stand-up comedian, Monsignor? Except I don't think your act would do very well unless I was just standing there in the stage with you, and you could just make fun of me the whole time.
Well, why do you think I'd make fun of you?
Ridicule me, point out my flaws, all of the above, throw tomatoes at me. Why do you derive such joy out of that idea?
What's that?
It seemed like you're laughing and smiling quite intensely at the idea of the mockery of me, tomatoes at me.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Well, on that note, we want to thank those who were very generous in their gifts. Not only the cakes, the shortbread, also the teas. God bless to you all for your generosity. Monsignor Turro is the beneficiary of all of it, and I am able to partake of what he's willing to share with me at times. So until next time, Monsignor, would you like to bless the people?
I would. Benedictio Dei Patris, et Filii, et Spiritus Sancti descendat super vos, et moniat semper.
Amen.
Good.
See you soon. Bye. All right, Monsignor. Do you want to say anything now that this is the unofficial time of the video?
Wait till it gets unplugged.